So here's a pretty funny post about a young gal, mid-20s, early 20s, something like that, who's thrown the biggest crybaby fest that I've heard in quite a while because her boyfriend dumped her. Why'd he dump her? Because she wants to be polyamorous. In other words, have multiple boyfriends and that type of thing. Oh, how dare he? And aside from the fact that this is a pretty hilarious post that you and other fellow sick mother effers like me will take great joy in laughing at, there's two parts to this. There's her crybaby post about woes me, and the second part is about the comment section, where people like her are there-thering her and all that. And this is just a very warped group of people here. And oh, by the way, guess what? It's not like she's alone. She has other guys she's servicing, but she's having a meltdown because of this one guy. Titled, I got dumped for being poly, and I'm sad. Really, that's the title. I had a shout out to Trevor for sending this story. She says, I was constantly afraid it would happen, and then it did. But it really surprised me. We had such a beautiful relationship. We traveled together, signed 2 leases, really took care of each other when I got injured, and he lost his job. If it's such a beautiful relationship, why can't he be with just this one guy? There were really no problems in the relationship, but he always had a hard time with me being poly, and his patience finally ran out. Well, he was a bonehead for being in a relationship with you if that's not what he wanted. If he's monogamous, doesn't want to do this poly crap, If he went into it knowing that she was this way, that's his fault, but still. I'm just in so much pain. I sort of repress dealing with it because I have so much else going on, and I don't really have friends who are terribly empathetic about this kind of thing. You mean you have people in your life that are sane that says this whole thing's ridiculous? I told I had to tell my family because of the holidays, and I've just been crying on and off for 3 days. And let's play the violin for little Jessica here. I'm trying to pull it together because I have Christmas Eve plans with one partner and Christmas Day plans with my other partner, and I know I'm exceedingly lucky to have them. You heard that. She's got plans with one dude on Christmas Eve, and she's got the plans for the other dude on Christmas Day. She still has 2 dudes, 2 dicks. Meanwhile, she's having a meltdown because this other guy's gone. How many guys does she need? Do these guys get together on occasion and they all take turns with her? Does she have all 3 at once? I mean, the logistics are certainly possible. Well, actually, let me rephrase that. The logistics, it can happen. Hell, she could probably handle 4 or 5 if she got creative. I'm not really a crier, so it's always been kind of a big deal if I cry in front of someone. Honey, something tells me you'll cry at the snap of a finger to get your way, get attention, or get pity. But God, it's like every single thing sets me off right now. Drama queen. I'm also doing a potentially unhealthy thing where I'm spending a lot more time with my not live-in partner than I normally would, leaving my other live-in partner home alone for like a week at a time. God, this broad is selfish. Largely because being home reminds me so much of the one that left, and is really painful and triggers the tears. Oh my God. So what I tell you about women and rejection, they can't take it. Nobody likes rejection, let's be honest here, but she already has 2 dudes that she regularly services, and this whole thing is because the one guy, I guess her primary guy, whatever they want to call it, is done with her. And I have a lot of guilt about this, but also, fuck, being home right now is terrible. I was cleaning and found his old planner. I opened it like an idiot, and pretty much every other day under it, the Today I'm Most Grateful For tab, he wrote my name. Cue the last 2 hours of trying to discreetly cry and not be a total downer. Again, the violin. Now, she says, so yeah, I don't know if I'm looking for comfort or advice or whatever, just need to vent somewhere where people would get it. Well, given the fact there's 4 or 5 comments here, like total in the whole thing, I believe, actually maybe 5 to 10, as opposed to like hundreds or 1,000 in typical Reddit posts. This community isn't very big, and these people obviously are weirdos here. Lady, to each their own how they want to live, but I don't want to hear about you whining because somebody else doesn't want to live according to your ridiculous standards and having multiple dudes. You had 3 dudes. Now, if that guy went into the relationship knowing that you're doing this. That's one other thing. But he has a right to leave you. Nobody feels bad for you. I mean, come on, this is ridiculous. And these things don't work out. They're never going to work out in the long term. And guarantee you, down the road, you're going to realize, wait a second here. I actually want a ring on my finger. I want to be married and have a husband. And guess what? And you're going to probably be rejected when these things come out about your past here, but that's on you. Now, here are some of the comments here. Some comments that people had things to say to her and her response. And again, these are like-minded people that are into this lifestyle. It's hilarious. This guy says to her, or this person, I don't know if it's a guy or a gal, says, I don't have advice to offer, but I'm sorry you're going through this. My long-term/main partner, would have been 2 years in March, just left me too. Oh, apparently a lot of people being left this year. He was never comfortable with my polyamory. I told him so many times, we don't have to try anything, and he should find someone he's compatible with instead of forcing him to be okay with something he's not okay with. He insisted he loved me and was willing to try. Well, this guy's an idiot. Fast forward, he met someone who's monogamous. This worried me, so I asked questions about whether he sees us and her and how they all fits in. He said he wants to be open and he loves me, and she knows that. Even though she's not okay with it, she likes him enough to try. Suddenly, this is too much for him, and he left me. What do you expect? The dude obviously wants only one gal. God forbid for that. I knew not to get serious with monogamous people, but he was so convincing. Lesson learned. Again, I'm so sorry you're going through this. It's painful, and I'm here if you just want to vent. Listen to the talk of monogamous people like second-class citizens. Monogamous people. Those crazy people. The chick who wrote this crybaby fest responds, oh God, that's so painful. I'm so sorry. In some ways, if we had to break up, I'm glad it happened before he met someone monogamous because that was one of my worst fears. I'm so sorry you went through all that. Man, these people are just nothing but crybabies. I also really wish I could follow the not get involved with mono people guidance. But I'm in my mid-20s, been poly for almost all my dating life, and there's really no one where I am that like that's established, reliable poly people in my age. I'm always the youngest person at any event or munch. Poly events? So I either date noticeably older guys or I chance on people my own age who have minimal experience or are down to try. This is the only time so far that my partner went back to being mono, and man, it was painful one. Again, back to the violin and the crybaby fest. A couple more comments. Another one says, the most important thing about you is that you are loved. Loving is opening up yourself to be hurt. It can be a beautiful thing to be vulnerable. It means you're alive. She's loved by 2 other dudes, so I think she's going to be fine here. Another one, this guy says, this is some actual common sense. I would recommend that you reevaluate that assumption. What if you weren't left because you're poly? To me, it sounds like an easy way to avoid responsibility for something else, behavior, attitude, etc. But anyhow, guys, Sodomgate War 2.0. 1 guy's enough, 2 guys is enough, 3 guys she has. And she probably had 4, 5, or 6 if she could. So anyhow, this whole poly thing, open relationship, open marriages, it doesn't work out, and it always ends the same. So too bad for her, but yet again, the giant crybaby fest. But I'm sure a lot of you guys got a laugh out of this because you're twisted souls just like me.